Okay, do not do this to your wife. When we built this barn dominium 3 years ago, we were in such a hurry to get in it that I left a few spaces unfinished. This is one of them, and it has driven my wife crazy. We've lived with it for several years, so it's time to go ahead and finish this. So we're going to build a bunch of shelves, things to hold books and things. I'm going to start with just a 1x pine for the floor to kind of raise it and lift it up off the ground a little bit. Then I went ahead and made some legs, and I notched the top of them for a 3-inch plank, 3-inch piece of pine that you're going to see when I slide that in there. I notched it with a router, and I went down about a 1/2 inch. Now I'm going to square it up with my chisel and get this so that it will fit nice and flush and hold the top piece of the board, or that top shelf that we want. And then partway down, I've also notched it for a 3/4 inch shelf that you'll see in here in a second. But first trick is just to square up my slot here. Once I get that done on all 6 of the legs, we're going to go up and I'm going to attach the back legs first. And my end 2 legs, the outside legs, they are actually screwed into a stud. And then I've slipped this plank into those notches. And now it's time to attach the 3/4 inch shelf in the middle. Again, I just used a 1/2 inch router bit to get these notches in place and where I want them. And now I'm going to glue. I'm just using some Gorilla Glue, and I'm going to put a healthy amount of glue into the slot. Now to secure the front legs, I'm going to use this Craig pocket tool, and I'm going to place 2 screws at the bottom of each leg on the back side of the leg so that you won't see it, but it's going to add a tremendous amount of strength and keep the legs from coming out. I'll add some glue to the slots that will hold the boards in place and help secure the top of the leg. Now while I was doing this, I have the other 2 legs on the front of it. They're in place and holding the boards up, but I haven't attached them yet, so I'm going to attach these 2. Once I've made sure they're level, I'll reach back around. Carefully, you don't hit your head. I left 2 pretty nasty marks on my head as I was doing this. The problem with not having hair is you kind of always find ways to leave something else on top of your head if you can't have hair. So I love these. I love these kinds of joints, and when I'm building things, I feel like they're super, super strong, especially if you add a little bit of glue at the bottom there. And I wanted these to be nice and tough just because they are going to support books and whatever other little knickknacks my wife has planned for it. So
until I walk awake, scream my mind, I shout, the ground shakes. How much can I take? My mind will break.
Okay, once I got those 2 done and in place, then I can take the remaining front legs off and just go through the same step. Make sure they're level, screw them down. I did cut those notches tight enough that would hold them in place while the glue dries. And then I also added a couple of finishing nails just to make sure they stay nice and snug. All right, I will say that if you're going to work in living space where messes are a little bit bigger of a deal, I love having this DeWalt Workspace tool. It's a little tiny shop vac, and this just makes cleanup. It makes it possible to clean up as I go, and makes the last bit of cleanup super easy. So if you haven't got a little battery-powered vacuum, I totally recommend it. So the problem with using plywood in any kind of finished carpentry is that if you leave the edge exposed, it looks terrible because you've got that compressed glued layer look that you can see, and it doesn't look good. So you can buy this iron-on edging. It has a heat-activated adhesive on the back of it, and it is really easy to use. You can paint it or stain it when you're all finished. And all you have to do is cut it to edge, or cut it to size. I just hold it up in place, get my size, snip it, and then when you're ready, you just iron it on. Get your iron nice and hot. This comes, I believe it's in a 1-inch width, or a 3/4 inch width, which was perfect for what I used. I did end up trimming it up just a hair, but you'll feel the adhesive starting to take hold, and just move your way down the edge. Make sure, I like to hold it flush to the top, and then if you do have to trim, you just trim it off the bottom, and that way on the top piece you get a nice custom, or you get the nice factory edge rather than anything you trim up. So now I did add a 2-inch trim piece at the bottom to match the rest of the trim throughout the house that my wife can paint to match, and that just gives it a finished look. So here's the finished product. I am curious to know what you think. This is just a design of my own. I asked my wife to trust me and let me design it and build it however I wanted. We aren't going to stain it. We're going to leave it this natural color, but we will put a sealer over it. And let me know what you think. If you have any questions, or if there's anything I didn't include in the video that I should have, or if you have any criticism, if you have anything that you think I should have done different, let me know in the comments below. Also, you can see a link to any of the things that, any of the tools that I use that I felt like I really liked, especially that vacuum. I love that. And that Craig tool is hands down one of my favorite tools in my entire toolbox. If this video has been helpful, please hit that subscribe button. Please like it, share it with anybody that you might think that they might like this kind of a project. And I'll see you in the next video.